This is our city plan for Funko Populous by Andrew Samleth, Saifu Ha, David Jared, and Danny Nguyen. According to our map, you can see that our city is located on the left. Our power sources are on the right. The corn at the bottom represent agriculture. The solid line represents the border for the nature reserve, and the X's in the lakes represent the number of lake squares harvested. Power. Within our city, power is crucial as there are many citizens, homes, schools, factories, and other buildings that require electricity to function. Altogether, our city requires 995,000 kilowatts of power. And in order to generate enough power, we utilize nuclear power plants, fossil fuel plants, solar panels, wind turbines, and hydroelectric plants. As you can see, our wind turbines are placed higher up in order to maximize the amount of energy received, and our solar panels are located in the desert in order to receive the most sunlight possible. So our city contains 2 fossil fuel plants, 1 nuclear power plant, 5 wind turbines, 4 solar panels, and 2 hydroelectric power plants, producing a combined generated total of 1,080,000 kilowatts of power. By having all these power sources, our city is able to generate enough power to spare 85,000 kilowatts. Our city is heavily dependent on our nuclear and fossil fuel plants as they produce the greatest amount of power. We decided to use 2 fossil fuel plants due to the fact that it's very cost efficient, coal is very abundant, and it generates huge amounts of electricity. However, in order to not be too reliant on fossil fuels, we decided to incorporate only 1 nuclear power plant as it's incredibly expensive to construct and it also has a limited fuel supply. Furthermore, we wanted to integrate some form of renewable energy sources, so our city also consists of 5 wind turbines, 4 solar panels, and 2 hydroelectric plants. By having these renewable energy sources, our city is able to reduce the production of greenhouse gases from fossil fuel usage as well as diversifying energy supply so that we are not too dependent on imported fuels.
In order to reduce the quantity of pollution produced, we chose to locate our fossil fuel plants far away from civilization. Because there are existing sources of smog-causing pollutants such as automotive exhaust and consumer items like paint and hairspray, reducing smoke from fossil fuel plants would be preferable. Our nuclear plant is also positioned away from society to also lower the chances of causing cancer through radiation. Because nuclear power plants are also fuel efficient, low cost to operate, and resistant to harsh weather, it would be appropriate to locate one in a desert region of our metropolis, preferably the upper right corner. Our industrial operations, on the other hand, are positioned near the main city in order to be close to the market and to be able to distribute goods as stated before. Although these industrial plants are a great cause of pollution, we can reduce the air pollution produced by choosing materials which are made from recycled materials, improving machineries or manufacturing processes to reduce emissions from factories, and by identifying irregularities in pollutant levels in the air to keep our pollutant levels within set limits. Because most of our grassland is located toward the bottom of our city, we chose to establish all of our agricultural facilities there. The grasslands would be the finest location for agricultural infrastructure because the soil is the richest, making crop cultivation easier. Compared to grain-fed livestock, grass-fed livestock contain more nutrients, which benefit the consumer as well. We also chose to locate all of the agricultural facilities in close proximity to one another in order to increase the efficiency of farming operations, since it is easier to harvest them when they are all within the same range. The primary urban areas would be located on the western side of the land, which includes a piece of the mountain and desert region. Our schools, housing areas, and commercial buildings are all evenly distributed across the city, allowing residents easy access from all directions. Our industrial units are situated on the outskirts of town in order to offer direct access to the market and to distribute goods. In terms of trash management, we have recycling plants all across the city, as well as landfills on the outside.
The city produces 6,075,000 gallons of water. Through 1 desalination plant, 1 wastewater treatment plant, and 7 boxes worth of water from the lakes, we produce 6,600,000 gallons of water. Our desalination plant is located near the coast as the facility must collect salt water from the ocean to distill and convert it into fresh water. Placing down this plant will give us an abundance of water for agriculture in the city due to the vast ocean. Our wastewater treatment plant is located a bit on the outside of the city. This location will give us easy access to fresh and clean water, as it is in between the urban and agricultural centers, which are the main areas of our city that need fresh water the most. The treatment plant is beneficial as it allows us to efficiently and effectively clean water and not waste it. As a result, it gives us an abundant supply. In addition, both the desalination plant and wastewater treatment plant will relieve pressure on our lake water, which will help maintain nature and its habitat in our city. With the 7 squares of lake water, the location is beneficial as the lakes have plenty of water due to how big they are. In addition, we are not depleting each lake as we have divided how much water we will use from each source. It will also reduce the risk of floods as it lowers water levels and the dams secure it. We have an abundance of water, which is beneficial in the case that people overuse it. To ensure that our water is the best quality, we will strictly enforce the Safe Drinking Water Act and the Clean Water Act. Produces 215,000 pounds of trash. To keep it clean, we have built 5 landfills and 3 recycling centers. The 3 recycling centers are located deep and throughout the city, which will promote recycling as citizens will have easy access to them as they can walk or drive over. This will relieve pressure from landfills as less trash will be headed towards there. In addition, these recycling centers will also save and conserve energy. By reusing materials, it means that less raw materials will be used in our industrial centers, which means that less fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas are being burnt. Additionally, with less fuels being burnt, it will lead to less air pollution within our city, which will mean less emission of greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and nitrous oxide. Our landfills are located on the outside of our city as it will not stink up the areas and it provides a clear open space for landfills to be dumped. These landfills will provide our city a place to store industrial and commercial waste, which will keep it clean. With their location, they will provide more energy for our city as once the waste deteriorates, methane and carbon dioxide are produced, which can be filtered out and used for energy production. Additionally, there is an economic advantage to landfills as they are cheap and more job opportunities are created as there are roles that people must fill, such as driving the garbage trucks and supervising them.
We have placed a nature reserve on the mountains of the city. The reason why we have placed a nature reserve in the mountains is due to the fact that mountains have many benefits such as food, fresh water, and most importantly, renewable energy. The mountain also serves as a controlled ecosystem for plants and animals. The nature reserve also serves as a safe haven for a large gene pool to be conserved and protected so that it can serve as an invaluable resource for future usage. The national park also serves as a safe haven for endangered animals to not go extinct. The nature reserve also supports biodiversity to be seen. Also, due to the reserve being on the mountain, it prohibits humans from causing urbanization because building on houses and other human needs are more complicated.